Holy Spirit. Yeah, perfect.
How are you doing? All right,
Ready to go? You're on.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Corinthian Park, and an occasion that I can say a lot of people have been looking forward to. And I don't mean the end of restrictions, by the way, at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, but I am talking about the Energia League Division 2B clash of Corinthians and Galwegians. These sides have met already just a few weeks ago, actually, in Galwegians, on an absolutely horrible day, a game that was won by Corinthians, but if the truth be told, there was very little between the sides up to the last 15 minutes, and then we had that brilliant try that was instigated by Cathal Ford. Well, Galwegians are first out onto the field. By the way, a guard of honour as well, made up of the under 14 girls from Corinthians. That was organised at very short notice as well by Nairi Hill and Yvonne Comer, and they deserve credit to have that. Of course, the rather large crowd, and I have to say there is a decent crowd here for tonight's game, as Corinthians led out onto the field by their captain Aaron Broderick. We'll go through the teams in just a moment, but we'll have to say that this game has a lot at stake for both sides. Corinthians second in Division 2B of the Energia League, 9 points behind Greystones, while Galwegians are bottom on 5 points, but a win here could see them renew their challenge to avoid relegation. And as we all know, and as we have all seen in the past, that Galwegians Corinthians games are always tight, exciting, and without doubt full of a shock or two, and we've had them as well in the past. The Corinthians team, if we remember, a couple of years ago went in against Wegians expecting basically to clean up, and Wegians beat them. I think it was 19-14, so do not for an instant think this is a gimme for Corinthians. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. Now let's look at the teams, and we will start with the visitors, Galwegians. They're starting with a full-back at Adam Cunningham. You have Conor O'Shaughnessy, who's starting on the wing alongside Andy Neary. In the centre will be Dark Hindy and Robert Deasy. Roy Gaffney at out half, and Kelvin Langan will be at scrum half. They front row Shane Ryan, Christy Riley and Diego Vergara. Remember, they gave Corinthians a fair whack in the game in Crowley Park. Second row of Ben McGuinness, Owen Tarmy, and a back row of Jack Winters, Brian McSweeney and the captain Kieran Downey. Replacements are Andrew Payton, Michael McColgan, Casper Pazmurlek, Ben Murphy, Andrew Sherlock and Andy Neary. Corinthians, well, they are lining up unchanged from the team that was released to the media earlier on this afternoon. A full-back Warren McNulty, on the wings you've got Colin Stapleton and Michael O'Reilly. In the centre you have got Kyle Evans and Josh Rowland. At south half is Mark McDermott. Matt Devine is at scrum half, and a front row Pat Fahy, Javier Sanchez and Greg Noon. Colin Raftery and the captain Aaron Broderick in the second row. Peter Gavin, Colin Joyce and Keane Huxford make up the back row. Huxford of course starting in his usual position of number 8. Owen de Butler, Ray Duffy, Gareth Kilkelly, Evan Coyle and Decky O'Loughlin are their replacements, and this game is underway. Our referee this evening is from Tralee. It's Tomas O'Sullivan with his assistants. They are Shane Toohey and Paul Donovan, and just to mention John O'Boyle as well, who is the fourth official this afternoon. Early doors line out going to Corinthians from an early clearance, 18 seconds gone in the first half. And if you are watching this on our stream, of course it's been brought to you with thanks to Rugby Smarts and broadcast on their YouTube channel. So if you fancy getting in touch, listen, I know there have been a few questions already as regards this game and was it being streamed, and I have to say, Dave Hansbury, I'm looking at you when I make that comment, but the line-out's going to be taken by Javier Sanchez, probably going to aim it as far as Broderick in the centre, which he does. Good drive from Corinthians. Remember, this is being on stream. I have to remember it's not radio, so if I do stop midway through, you'll understand. That was a very good drive from Corinthians, who have got themselves the penalty just inside the Galwegians 10 metre line. Conditions, if you are watching us around the world, is absolutely perfect. A little bit nippy, but it's dry, and there is very, very little breeze. Normally the breeze here would go towards the corner flag near the post, but a penalty for Corinthians, who need this. Remember, the gap in the Energia League Division 2B is not actually that much. Greystones are 9 points clear at the top of the table, but you have to remember you've got teams like Wanderers, Blackrock College and Sligo all on Corinthians' tail, and there's only 6 points in fact separating Corinthians, who are second, from Wanderers, who are in 6th place. Line out from Javier Sanchez, going to go into the centre and hitting Broderick first time. Are they going to try and drive it on? Galwegians having to really defend here. It was a good drive on. It's a brilliant rolling ball from Corinthians. They could find themselves, in fact, making ground. They have made themselves ground. Maybe looking for a penalty. No, he's given the penalty against Corinthians. Galwegians, they get to clear their lines, and maybe a sense of relief after that a rather dominant opening couple of minutes from Corinthians, but still no score to count from it. Now, like I said, if you want to get in touch with us, please do. You can contact us on the Rugby Smart YouTube channel, and you can leave your comments at the bottom. And hopefully, as well as a little bit later, as the afternoon and the evening, I should say, progresses, we'll be joined by a few people as well. Hopefully, and I'm hoping that the guys from the RNLI are actually here, because there was a presentation made a little bit earlier on. That clearance, it doesn't find touch. Corinthians have it. Good opportunity. And here comes the burst, and a great burst as well inside. He's looking for support. He doesn't need it. It's a brilliant run from Mark McDermott, the out half. Corinthians will have it. Matty Devine looking for support, but knocked on. Wegians will get a chance to clear their line, advantage going in their favour, and rightly so from the referee. Nice spin back to Tralee for him, actually. The referee has said that it's actually been he's given the knock on. He's given a knock on against Corinthians. Wegians will I think they were biding for time actually from that advantage. Knock on in favour of Wegians. The man who's going to be putting this one in will be Kelvin Langan, their scrum half. Delighted actually to see as well the president of Galwegians, Carson Jim Blake, is here, and Kieran Flaherty, of course, bar no one has flashed to Corinthians club members and fans. They're both here, so we'll get an opportunity of maybe speaking to both of them before the evening is out. And I also see a couple of other heads as well. Yvonne Comer is here, of course, member now of the RFU Executive Committee, Junior Vice President here at Corinthians. Good scrum. Very good scrum from Corinthians. The referee is going to say, hold on, we're going to have it again. It's been a while since I've seen a crowd this size here actually in Corinthian Park. It's mighty for local derby. And in true rugby form, just been asked if I want a pint, so why not? Legendary Chaz here beside me as well. Oh, Smith and Stephen Hosty. And Kieran Smith as well. Great to see him. Listen. Good solid scrum from Wegians. They're going to run their way out of this one. And well driven away. Langan's going to have possession. Good ish. He was going to take it. Collected by Michael O'Reilly. Ball goes backwards, says the referee. Good play, good drive, Colin Raff. Taking it on, support there. And here, great break from Corinthians. Could they get themselves the opening try? Oh, brilliantly played on. Is it going to be enough to get in? Is he going to touch it down? No speed. Michael O'Reilly, a man who's actually known for his speed, has been outrun by the ball in this one. Line out Wegians. Well played though by Matthew Devine. Devine, of course, played for the Irish under-20s against the Leinster Development and scored a try. We should be hearing about the Irish under-20 squad before too long as well. And you would have heard as well during the announcement, Jimmy Duffy, former Connacht forwards coach, is part of the coaching ticket for the Irish under-20s this year. So Jimmy, wish you the best of luck. Sound skin. And of course, not forgetting Glasgow, who are coming to Connacht on the 29th of January, who features one Mr. Nigel Carlin in their backroom team. Now, can I also mention, by the way, as well, a warm welcome to the Connacht lads who are in a hotel in Paris at this moment in time. I don't know if they're watching this game or Castor Harlequins, because there is a lot at stake in that game. Just to remind you, I don't know if you were listening to the news during the day, but it turned out to be a rather bizarre. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, the EPCR announced that Cardiff had been given a 28-0 win over Toulouse. That was about 10-2. At 2:30, there was ructions regarding Toulouse, and they threatened legal action. At 3 o'clock, the French League rode in, and they also threatened legal action, so they still don't know what the story is with that. Ironically, Leicester and Bordeaux was called off, and Leicester have been given a 28-0 win as well, so we'll see if there's any kind of development from that in the last few minutes. 7 minutes gone, first half, no score, but the advantage very much with Corinthians. Stolen, gone, touch, line out, and line out's going to go to Galwegians again. So we're still awaiting our first score in this game. Possession very much in Corinthians. Overthrow from the hooker and picked up very well by Javier Sanchez. The support as well. Greg Noonan has given it. Here comes Corinthians. About less than 5 metres, and it's been spread out wide. They've got the advantage. They don't need it. There's the try. Clock reading 8 minutes and 10 seconds in the first half. And the rather fetching leggings would never happen on my day. But I'm giving that to Colin Stapleton because I think it's him. Now don't worry, I'll be corrected as this game goes on, don't you worry. I should have brought my binoculars, I think. Anyway, back to the conversion. We'll clarify the try scorer in a second. That's a nice kick, and that's a brilliant conversion. Corinthians leading Galwegians 7 points to 0. Early doors. I must also mention that this game is being watched, I'd say, by quite a few clubs around the Energia 2 B League, so if you want to get in touch, please do. And just to repeat, the two wingers for Corinthians, by the way, this afternoon or this evening are Michael O'Reilly and Colin Stapleton. Oran McNulty is at full back, and it's going to be picked up by Corinthians again. Fed out well, going back out. Good ball from McDermott. Well collected and well picked up, in fact, by Rory Gaffney. Great pick from Gaffney, in fact, and good driving as well from Wages. They make it past the halfway line. Half chance for Wages. Great pick and great run as well by Jack Winters, who's looking for support. Well played on. Langan tidied up very well. Chance for Corinthians to that's an amazing burst. Here comes Corinthians, and they might have something a little bit late, but the play is going on. Galwegians, for their hard work and their endeavours, in fact found themselves back inside their own 22 again. And penalty Corinthians. Just to mention, if you're watching jersey numbers, you will see, and I can already see a few changes in the Corinthians, and the fact that Michael O'Reilly is actually wearing 10 when he should be wearing 11. So I think we can take it for granted that jerseys count for a squash. Riley's wearing 14, beg your pardon. Good pick from Broderick. Gonna have to do something about the jersey. Anyway, here goes Corinthians again, looking for try number 2. But good defence from Wegians. Chance for Devine. He's got support outside him. They have it. Here comes the spread. Have they got the pick? No. Knock on. Referee's going to say definitely knock on.
The opposition only get upset when we make a mistake. You're not going to be a teacher too. I saw your guy. I heard people tell me he was
I'm going to give you clarification on that try. Josh Rowland, who actually touched down for Corinthians a little bit earlier on, so just a correction. Josh Rowland. Mark McDermott with the conversion, 7-0. So you've got Cathal Evans, Mark Rowland, Michael O'Reilly, the 3 facing you on the left hand side. Colin Stapleton, Oran McNulty watching everything from the back, but Wegians get a chance to clear their lines. Langan, good move from the scrum half. Clearance. Well, clearance is made up between the 22 and the, well, just about halfway between the 22 and the 10 metre line. Thank God there's no camera on the commentator. And I'm not going to explain why. Here we go. Line out. Great play from Wegians. Evans, brilliant driving from Evans in the centre. Going out wide, going out, and there's an opportunity here for them. But they could lose it. And as he released it, referee says yes, just about. Knocked on, boot to it, but well picked up by Michael O'Reilly, scrum half. Referee says that he has actually, that it was a knock on from Galwegians, and Corinthians have got themselves a scrum. Now we're going to welcome listeners to Galway Bay FM in the next couple of moments. I can just tell you that when we do, you'll hear a slight change in the tone, because obviously for radio. The clock is now reading, as I look at it, 14 and a half minutes gone first half. Corinthians 7, Galwegians 0. If the possession stats were Anthony Doyle, you would have to almost say 70-30 in favour, but it's a great play. Rolling, coming a good move out the right hand side, and they have the left hand side. They have an opportunity here. Brilliant tackle. Referee Moss Sullivan, totally correct to let the play go. And well played from Corinthians in getting themselves the penalty. I think they might just leave to Mark McDermott to find touch. And he's decided to go for the post. So far so good for Corinthians. So Galwegians, to be fair, they've done everything humanly possible to make a move, but really they've only had one real chance, which was cleared and sent back down the field again. And if you want to get in touch with us, please do. Just a quick reminder again, of course, get in touch with us and get in touch with us through the Rugby Smart YouTube channel. Leave a comment at the bottom of the leave a comment at the bottom. Get in touch. McDermott's taking the penalty and nailed it. Corinthians 10, Galwegians 0. 15 and a half minutes gone in the first half. 16 minutes 20 seconds to be exact. Conditions getting slightly cold. Remember, we spoke about the importance of Galwegians really needing a win here because of their position in the league, and they've got some very, very good players, it must be said. You've got the likes of that Calvin Langan, of course, Kevin Langan, who's in that scrum half, very, very talented player. Shane Ryan at the prop. Here comes Langan now. Good play inside, well played out as well. Tried it, almost worked as well. Jack Winters, to be fair, did everything absolutely right, and here come Galwegians. They could have something here. It's Andy Neary. Neary taken to ground, and Corinthians are going to win this ball back, I think. The referee said release it, so who's going to come out on top? It's Corinthians. Well played from Matt Devine. And good boot forward as well. But Andy Neary, I have to say, Neary was maybe a little bit unlucky. Good boot on. Bit of pressure on McNulty, who's taken all the time in the world. And well picked up by Langan. Langan sending this one. Well handled. This is a... Oh! On the full. Though I must admit, it looked like it was actually outside the line, but our referee, the touch judge on this side said nope. So Galwegians have got themselves a line out. Just off the 10-metre line. Opportunity for them to create attack. Langan. Well played, looking for the forwards drive up the middle. That forward in question is the captain, Kieran Downey. That one has gone straight out, but the referee says there's been an infringement over here, so he's going to give a penalty to Galwegians. An opportunity for them to open the scoring. Now remember, it's only 10-0, so even a penalty here and getting the posts will be... That's quite a nice crowd, actually. I must say, not even just a fantastic crowd here outside watching the game, but there's also a nice crowd inside as well. The responsibility of this penalty will fall with their scrum half, Calvin Langan. Langan, no mistake. Corinthians 10, Galwegians 3, and we have hit the 20-minute mark exactly in the first half. Now the question after the end of the first quarter will be who will be the happier coach. JP Cooney obviously will be happy that they've got themselves the try, but maybe unhappy that they haven't got a second one. Andrew Brown on the other hand, only 7 points down, 20 minutes gone, still very much anyone's game. And they've actually gone in for a water break, which gives me an opportunity to bring in Kieran Fardy, our president. Kieran, Flash, I have to just talk about earlier on the presentation to the RNLI took place in the clubhouse, and it's, I suppose, also great testimony to the work that was done by the boys themselves. This is, of course, 2020 Movember that raised the money for them and did very well. And of course, your own paintings. I have to mention that too.
Thanks. The light is very impressive by the lads back then. They raised quite I think 5,000 or 6,000 for the RNLI, which is an absolute great organisation who spend all their time saving lives on Galway Bay and further. And as a swimmer myself, a daily swimmer, I appreciate it very much, and that's why I get involved with my paintings, and was lucky enough to raise a few bob for them again this year.
It was wonderful that they were here tonight to receive, and for the club to receive the certificate of thanks, because it shows how appreciated it was with the amount of work that went into it.
Oh, absolutely.
And all we had to do was grow a few beers.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to get it and be recognised, and again personally as well, they also personally recognised me. But I got a beautiful correspondence from them, which I was very happy with.
Well, listen, Flash, enjoy the rest again. It's back to the action again. Enjoy it. Quick comment, by the way. I mean, 10-3, 20 minutes?
Yeah, pretty happy. It's early days. We're just getting into the game, and fair reflection on the game so far. And hopefully, I think we have a couple of quality players out there that may swing it for us. But I have experience going into Wegian games, being hot favourites and coming out a loser. So I'm hoping still.
Yeah, you have to be wary. There's no doubt about it. Thanks a million, Flash. That's Kieran Farty and John Tyerman. Ginger, I'm going to get a word with you in a minute, if that's okay. I have to talk to you because if people who did not know, the Galway Tribesmen Rugby League team were involved in the first round of the Betfred Challenge Cup. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may not realise how important a competition that is, but that basically is the FA Cup for rugby league sides, and it features teams from all over England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. And we'll talk to Ginger. Ryan Guilfoyle, by the way, was their player coach. Anyway, here comes Corinthians. Opportunity here to maybe spread it, and they have a chance, and they could get themselves a second one. Brilliant play out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly's at the afterburners goal. Brilliant tackle. Is it enough? No. Have they a chance to try? Referee doesn't raise his hand. Now he does. Try number 2 for Corinthians. An outstanding restart from the water break. And that is 12 points to 3. And as for who got the touch, my view was slightly obscured, but I think it's Mr. Rowland again for his second try of the evening. And indeed, it was indeed Josh Rowland's second try of the evening. Great play from Matt Devine. Brilliant run from Michael O'Reilly. Fantastic play from Corinthians, and a fantastic restart straight after the water break. And crucial, Mark McDermott will take the conversion. He's actually a very good day from the boot so far. 2 from 2. McDermott with this to make it 17 points to 3. That's a great kick from McDermott. Oh, that's an outstanding kick. Oh, that is absolutely top class. Top class from Mark McDermott. Corinthians 17, Galwegians 3. And a quick glance at the clock tells me that there are nearly 25 minutes gone in this first half. 15 to go. But remember this, I have to tell also, we have to take into consideration, you can probably take 2 minutes off that for the water break that took place. And just with the word, if you've just joined us and you're watching us around the world and you're not aware, the government announced the end of restrictions. Is that gone 10? Play on. And Wegians have got themselves the line out. But just to go back to our earlier point, the government announced this evening, just after 6 o'clock, Michal Martin, the Taoiseach, announced that restrictions were to be lifted from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And I think there's a few people kind of wishing they'd lifted them straight away, but talking to another Flash, Greg Faherty, of course, in the Dewdrop Inn in Galway City, and he was enjoying a pint tonight. He's going to be a busy man tomorrow. Back to the action. A good drive from Galwegians, and well held up by Corinthians, it has to be said. A bit of stalemate. Referees letting play go. Here come Wegians. Can they get something out of this? It's been well played. Support on the left hand side, well driven on. It's Vergara. Diogo Vergara has possession, goes to ground. looking for somebody to aim for, and the man who was looking for someone to aim for was Derek Kennedy. He had Conor O'Shaughnessy to see if he was looking for him. Almost an interception and knock on from Wegians. Corinthians are going to get themselves the scrum. Referee Tomas O'Sullivan has let the play go. Are they going to try and push forward again? Cheeky little dink, and it's going into Rowland, and what a take from Josh Rowland. Rowland still goes on, takes a hit. He might not win the battle of this, but that was brilliant from Rowland, and that's high. Oh, that could be dangerous. That could be a card. It's going to be a penalty anyway to Galwegians, and it's going to be a yellow. It's going to be yellow, I'd say. Now he's talking to Josh Rowland, but it's not Josh Rowland, and he's talking in fact to Michael O'Reilly in a word with Aaron Broderick. He's told O'Reilly, keep it down. O'Reilly's a lucky boy, to be honest. I've seen red cards given for less. But penalty is the only sanction. Good touch, and it's going to go.
Knock on!
Usually you hear heads up.
He tried to catch it in middle.
That he did, chap, but I'm not going to repeat that. Wegians line out. And that was a breathtaking move, and referee said, hold it, it's a free kick. And I think the free kick is for a crooked line out. Corinthians have gone for the scrum. And we haven't had a chance to look at any comments, if any have actually come in. My clock is, my stopwatch is telling me that we've hit 28 and a half minutes, but probably more than likely 25 because of the break for the water break a couple of minutes ago. And I see that John Tyreman, who I was hoping to grow a word with, has disappeared. We'll see if we can grab him a little bit later on. Of course, that was a huge story, and probably maybe not realised by many. But the Galway tribesmen being in the Betfred Challenge Cup's a massive deal. Penalty against Corinthians. Hinging. Might be a few strong words said by JP Cooney for that at half time. And line out Wegians just inside the Corinthians halfway. Christy Riley going to be aiming his line out, I'd say. Nolan Tarmy, I would say, would be the contact. Spear ball. No, it's a real battle of the front rows. You've got Shane Ryan, Christy Riley and Diego Vergara for Wegians, and Patrick Fahy or Bomber, Javier Sanchez and Greg Noon for Corinthians. Brilliant line out from Galwegians. Well played, good support play as well. That's coming from Rory Gaffney. Kicked on by Langan, who's looking for support, but that's going to be tidied up. Great booting it from McNulty, straight down the throat though of the Wegians player, and they decide to go up and under and change. A great kick. This is going to find touch, this is going to find possession. No! Wow.
Never count your chickens.
That was, to be honest, I was expecting that to be well gone, but it was well tidied up. Well tidied up. Good boot from McNulty. Line out Wegians, Corinthians clear their lines. 17-3. If you've just joined us, 31 minutes or so gone in the first half. And while we have a second, we'll just see if there's anybody getting in touch. This is nice to see. There's quite a few of you watching us actually, which is lovely. And thanks very much for joining us. Hope that you're enjoying the game so far. We're not screaming and shouting at the top of our voices. It's not exactly a classic in that regard, but still some good rugby from Corinthians, and that's a great kick. That's an absolutely brilliant kick, and fantastic, well taken as well by Adam Cunningham. Brilliant take from Cunningham. Straight down the throat though. Another one. This is a long looper of a ball, and again brilliant take. Fantastic hands from both players. Man driving, man going forward. That's Derek Kennedy. Kennedy going cross field, but Corinthians might have something here if they decide to go for it. Win for, I don't know what he went for, but he went for it. Oh, he didn't find touch. And Wegians have got themselves possession just inside the Corinthians half. Recap on the game so far: 2 tries for Josh Rowland, converted by Mark McDermott, who got a penalty, and a penalty for Kelvin Langan for Galwegians. 17 points to 3. .33 minutes gone, first half. Wegians line out. Riley gets it. It's a good one and tied it up. Referee though has given an advantage. He's letting the play go. There was an advantage for a knock on. He's let it go. Wegians still have possession. Well, the arm is now stretched anymore, so that doesn't. I don't know. Does that mean that he's let? Yep, his penalty. The arm was out, and he's gone back for. Well, he's actually gone for another penalty. The initial penalty, he'd actually let play go and awarded a second penalty, which ironically is in a worse position than Wegians than the first one would have been. Warren McNulty's brother is watching, is he?
From London.
In London, nice one. Anyway, Lang, that's. So. Roy Gaffney's boot. Probably not giving him the distance he wanted to. There's no breeze worth talking about. It's relatively calm, very calm actually for a Friday night in Corinthian Park, and for the 21st of January, more like. Good drive though from Corinthians to counter the Wegians push, but they've still held on to possession. They're trying to create something that might give them an inch of space. Wegians have possession. They could have something here. That's very good rugby from Wegians, and a good drive on. They've made 10-15 metres. Spread out wide. It's gone out wide, and it's just gone away from the winger. A little bit wild, to be fair. Andy Neary, in his wildest dreams, wasn't going to get to that. He would have needed the speed of Superman and the hands of Packy Bonner to have got anywhere near collecting that. There was nothing he could do about it, just a wild pass. But
tell the old half that the round tag is in
in fairness to, I'll give Rory Gaffney his due. He was under pressure when he fed out that pass. Good line out from Javier Sanchez, who's had a brilliant season for Corinthians. A couple of tries for good measure, including one last weekend against Balna in an absolute war, must be said, on the 4G out there. Tell you more about that in a minute. But here come Corinthians now with a brilliant drive, 10-15 metres and a penalty advantage. Fed out, great rugby, going out to Rowland. Is he going to go again? Oh, he's lost it, and the referee's going to bring it back for the penalty. And game management is now starting to play its part as well. Mark McDermott. That's a good ball from McDermott, finding touch. And Javier Sanchez is going to have the line out again. 37 minutes gone. First half. Corinthians 17, Galwegians 3. Corinthians spreading it out wide. O'Reilly moving to the left. McDermott in the centre. Evans and Rowland, who's moved into almost a third left winger's role, it has to be said. Or McNulty slotting in behind. Region's gone spread straight 7 with the full back at the back. Brilliant pick from Broderick. Here come Corinthians. They looked for the inside pass, didn't get it. Penalty against them. And penalty for Galwegians, who, I have to be honest, can't understand why they're bottom of the table. They've played some really good rugby, especially the last day when they met in Crowley Park, and an absolute hurricane is one way of explaining it. It poured out of the heavens. An absolutely dirty night. Norwegians have got themselves the penalty, hoping to maybe get themselves a score that would close the gap somewhat, with about 2 minutes to go in the first half, and give or take a couple of minutes extra, because there was a water break as well. A few people I see have reverted for the warmth and comfort of the clubhouse. Wages possession, and that's a great drive, and this could be something here. They have an opportunity to come in outside them. Oh, is there a deliberate knock on? Referee is he going to give a penalty try? It's a deliberate knock on. Well, now here's the question: is it a deliberate knock on? And this, if there was a TMO, this, I'm watching, where everybody's watching for touch judge, and he's given the penalty try to Galwegians. And all of a sudden this game has taken on another level. But a fantastic drive from Galwegians. Penalty try, Wegians, and that all came from a massive burst straight up the middle of the field. And we now have a 7-point game. It's Corinthians 17, Galwegians 10. And I'm looking to see if it is a deliberate knock on. Has any player in fact gone into the bin?
The other card was given them.
Who was it, chap?
Yeah, give the other card. I didn't see who it was.
No, I'm looking to see if I see anyone gone off the field. Now I don't. Oh, I do. Actually, or is it? No, or is it?
I'm sure he gave the other card.
I don't see a yellow. I didn't actually see if there was a yellow. And we're just doing a quick count to see if there's 15 players on the.
He's a maths teacher. He's all right.
Cammy Gallagher's. Cammy, you're going to be stats man for a couple of minutes. Are there 15 Corinthians players on the pitch? Is the question.
No. Look at the back line. Oh no.
Everybody's looking to see has anyone actually gone off, and I don't see any Corinthians player putting a jacket on or anything like that. So I'd say he's given the penalty try, but he's not given a card. Anyway, back to the action. Corinthians again. Now, and they've got a penalty advantage as well. Support. Good driving from Corinthians. Going to spread wide, Raftery. Or Rafferty, however way you want to look at it, doesn't matter anyway, because here come Corinthians again. If they get a bit of space here, they could actually end up nearly killing off this game. Out to Rowland. Rowland's got Michael O'Reilly, but referee says penalty. And he's given a penalty, and I say Mark McDermott might just go to the posts and make it 20 points to 10 at half time. We're now into added time. My watch is reading 48 seconds plus the 40, so will they go for the posts, or will they go for touch and see if they can add themselves one more try? I would make it try number 3.
The thing is getting a right foot.
So Corinthians on the Galwegians line. By the way, just to mention, from what I could see, and I'll have to look back on the video, but I have a feeling that it was the Galwegians number 10, Rory Gaffney, who actually made the burst, which led to the movement in play, which led to the deliberate knock-on, which led to the Galwegians try. Line out from Sanchez, collected by Broderick. And here comes the drive from Galwegians, and they have almost mothered Galwegians. Referees let the play go, and they have the possession, and the referee has given a knock-on. From what I can see, he's having a word with, well, it looks like he's having a word with Aaron Broderick, and there's a little bit of fisticuffs as well. As we used to say, a little bit of handbags. Nothing serious. We bit of pushing and shoving. Nothing worth really to write home about. We ain't exactly talking. We're not talking an unholy war from years ago. So, anyway, quick word to the captains, no doubt. And he's saying, that's enough, boys. We'll have a clean game. To be fair, it's not been a dirty game, not by any stretch. God, far from it. Now, 42 minutes gone. Well, we're nearly 3 minutes into injury time, so we're pretty much to half time. There was no injuries worth talking about. And I'm looking to see, we're still looking to see if there was a Corinthians player sent to the bin. I don't see one. And I've got Kieran Smith, Donald Benson, Cammy Gallagher, Jack Kennedy, all looking to see, and nobody can actually make it out, and I don't see one either. So we take it for granted all 15 are on the field until told otherwise. Galwegian scrum. The Norwegians, they're not going to run the ball from behind their own line, are they? All eyes on the referee. See, is something illegal? Thomas O'Sullivan, who's been very good. There's Langan's kick. It's going to find touch, and there it is, your touch. And is it half time? That's exactly what it is. Half time here in Corinthian Park, and it's Corinthians who lead Galwegians by 17 points to 10 after what's been a very entertaining opening 40 minutes of rugby. You may agree, you may disagree, but there's actually been some cracking rugby being played by both sides in spots. I think somebody's almost taken my microphone lead, and me with it, but
Push off the centre.
But that's it at half time. I'm going to take a little break for a while, and it's those tries from Josh Rowland and the penalty from Mark McDermott, who kicked 2 conversions, and the penalty try on top of the penalty from Kelvin Langan are your scores here at half time. During the second half, we'll get to some of your comments and say hello if you're watching us anywhere you are around the world. Thomas O'Sullivan making a dash for the dressing room. I didn't see anybody chasing him. So anyway, it's half time. Going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes.
David from the Bronx loves your commentary. Who's David from the Bronx loves your commentary?
By elimination. Are we been them all right?
No, but then not. Well, lads, watch it.
John, you haven't drunk that yet, mate.
I know, yeah, I'm going to have it now.
Hey, John. How are you doing?
Any comments?
We got a couple of subscribers.
Today the boys. Well, you're welcome back. We've come back after the half-time break, and we're still kind of figuring out who was actually yellow carded. But regardless, I'm delighted to be joined actually by the president of Galwegians, Carl Blake. Carl, in fairness, one thing about, we've talked about this so many times in the past, but Galwegians Corinthians games being tight. It's entertaining. The purists will probably love it. Those who are expecting free-flowing, fast rugby are not. But I mean, that's the way these games are.
Oh, absolutely. Look, city derbies, you never know what's on it. And yeah, there's a lot of good rugby out there. I have to say, like for Division 2B, like the fourth tier in the club game, I personally think there's a really high standard out there. And our problem this season in Galwegians is simple mistakes are being cruelly punished. And you saw it there in the first half. Corinthians, two, from the Galwegians point of view, soft scores. Simple mistakes, cruelly punished. And Corinthians looked well set, but really pleased from our point of view how we've rebounded, and because the score, Corinthians were very magnanimous. The game in December, they thought that a 19-point margin was a bit flattering, a bit unfair.
It was.
Yeah,
and
but yet at the end of the day, from the Galwegians point of view, these scores keep happening, and it's lessons to learn. But there's certainly our guys are giving a lot out there, and 7-point game, and with an extra man now for another 6 or 7 minutes, we're in this game, and that's great to see.
It really is. And in fairness, can we just talk about as Galwegians have won themselves a line out and themselves the penalty as well. I mean, they have going back to that game in Crowley Park, absolutely dirty night, which it was. And in fairness, Corinthians really only pushed on the last couple of minutes. That Ford, the try towards the end really was what put daylight between the sides. And it's fair to say that the scoreline didn't reflect the game, because it was an absolute battle, to be fair, between the two sides. But you're really starting to do an awful lot of work with your underage as well, and especially, can I mention Dervla Campbell and the guys who work with the girls. I mean, you've always had a fantastic history of women's rugby in the club, and they've done great work as well. Especially, I've been talking to Dervla. I know Dervla very well, and I know Ken, the husband, I know the family. Dervla is totally 100% devoted to Galwegians. They have done some serious work there.
Absolutely, because if one just looks at the senior men's AIL table and say, gosh, your club is really struggling, and there's issues with our senior men's, young team, novice coaching staff, but that mass, there's a lot of good stuff going on in the club, and you've mentioned it there. You've mentioned squads, you've mentioned individuals, like our women are flying it, underage. There's a lot of good stuff and positives, and we've just completed the sale of our ground, and we can now focus on getting a new ground, and overall there's positives to build on there. So
opportunity here, just very quickly, a quick look to see if Galwegians have got something on here, because they just might, and Galwegians have a chance of getting in for the try, and it's taken some good defending, and referee has given a penalty against Galwegians, and even Kieran Farty was wincing with that one. I think that's an interesting call, but that's Mr. O'Sullivan. But I mean, a little bit unlucky there, and that's been your season. You've been just desperately unlucky at times, to be fair.
That shows. I mean, it was a good. I didn't see who made the block, but they made the block, and we turned it over. And Dara, he looked set to go in, and it just a little bit of white line fever there, and that's the difference. But look, 17-10. As I say, there's a lot to go yet, and just back to our earlier point, there's a lot of good stuff happening in our club. The glass is never completely full, but there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good work happening on the pitch and off the pitch, and as I say, back to this game, there's a bit of rugby to go yet, and we'll see how it goes. It was a pleasure talking to you, John, anyway.
Great seeing you, Carl, and enjoy the rest of the game, and we will have that pint later on. But back to the action. Good drive from Corinthians, getting themselves out of trouble, well past their 22 in the 10 metre line, and a brilliant drive, in fact, from Corinthians. let's go through the teams just again very, very quickly. And it's scrum. Crossing, maybe tractor and trailer as well, to use the old term. But let's just go through the teams again for the second half, and we'll start with Corinthians this time. Oran McNulty at full back. On the wings you've got Colm Stapleton and Michael O'Reilly. In the centre, Cathal Evans and Josh Rowland, who has scored 2 tries. The half-back pairing, Matthew Devine and Mark McDermott. And you've got a front row of Patrick Bomber Fahy, Javier Sanchez and Greg Noon, Colin Raftery, Aaron Broderick. Second row, of course, Broderick is the captain. And you've got a back row of Peter Gavin, Colin Joyce and Cian Huxford. And replacements, Owen de Butler, Ray Duffy, Gareth Kilkelly, Evan Coyle and Declan O'Loughlin, while the Galwegians are lining out with a full back of Adam Cunningham.
Only 14, by the way, John.
And Corinthians have only 14. There was a yellow card, and I am still trying to figure out who that was, but I think it was.
Look here.
I wonder, is Colin Stapleton the man who got the yellow, because or is Michael O'Reilly still on the field? But we'll just double check that. But just to go through the Wegians team again, Adam Cunningham at full back. You've got Conor O'Shaughnessy, Derek Kennedy, 14 and 13. Andy Neary is on the other wing with Robert Deasy, the other centre. Rory Gaffney, Kelvin Langan are the half-back pairing. Shane Ryan, Christy Riley, Diego Vergara front row. Ben McGuinness, Owen Tarmy second row. Jack Winters, Brian McSweeney and Kieran Downey the captain. The back row, their replacements: Andrew Payton, Michael McColgan, Casper Palmarzik, Ben Murphy, Andrew Sherlock, and I see Andy Neary is down here as a replacement, but the play continues. And Corinthians are going to have possession. They have the advantage for the knock-on. Our referee, Tomas O'Sullivan from Tralee. Here come, and it's a brilliant drive and some very, very good rugby. Penalty, and it's going to be taken quickly. Mahi Devine goes to ground, not 10 metres. Corinthian supporters screaming for a card and cynical play. Tomas O'Sullivan is saying, I'm having none of that. I'm giving you the penalty.
Yeah, Specsavers can help you, ref.
I'm saying absolutely nothing about that last comment. Kick from McDermott, fights touch.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kev. Oh, not too bad. My usual. I don't believe in the white stick brigade.
You know what? If there was ever an example to come out and watch a game, here it is, because it's great fun. You've got the two sets of supporters are mingling and having a bit of crack and throwing a bit of slag in the process. Here come Corinthians Devine with a good pass up towards Cathal Evans, and here they come again. Good spread out towards Rowland. I say there's one thing about commentators is to find somebody that's recognisable, but the ball's been spilled and Wegians have got possession, but the referee says nope. In fact, the knock-on is from the Wegians side and Corinthians have got themselves a scrum roughly midway between the 22 and the 10 metre line. Quick look to see just a few people who are James Buckley, by the way, is looking, and Donncha McNulty. How are you doing, Donncha? Or Donncha, watching little brother in from London. Geraldine Nocton, how are you doing, Geraldine? Saying well done, Wegians. James Baker, Dave Hansbury, loving the commentary. Cheers, Dave. Checks in the post. And Derv72, is that Dervla Campbell? James Buckley again. Stella Greeley's been on to us as well. Jarlath Mahan, who is watching in Dudley in the UK. How you doing, Jap? And Daniel Cazaro, who's watching in Spain. So guys, you want to get in touch with us, please do drop your comments onto the Rugby Smarts YouTube channel. And in fact, we'll get an opportunity. I was actually just mentioned at half time talking to John Tyerman, who won't speak, but Ryan Guilfoyle, who was the Galway Tribesmen's head coach, isn't here tonight. So Gilly, good evening to you. And I know it's unusual for a rugby union to talk about rugby league, but in fairness, their achievement in the Challenge Cup last weekend in Pilkington Rex was absolutely incredible. Back to the action. Here come Corinthians. Will they get another one? It's a brilliant run from O'Reilly, and Michael O'Reilly has got space here. Could he make it all the way? Still O'Reilly! No, just short. But here comes Devine. He decides to go into it. Meets three Galwegians players like a brick wall. Here they go again. Ball goes backwards. Well, that's my argument. Referee says yes, play on. It went back. Devine looking for support. They've got an overlap and they decide to go for it. No, he doesn't need it. Try, Corinthians. Try number 3. And an important one. I'll probably have to look at the commentary to see. I think I need me glasses, lads. New glasses, that is. Can somebody tell me who actually touched that down? Because I didn't get a glass. But you're watching this on YouTube, you'd probably go, "Geez, Mulligan, was this one?" But no, it wasn't Josh. It wasn't Josh Rowland, and it wasn't Josh Rowland. Rowland's wearing the leggings, so it must be Cathal Evans. So could have been McNulty. It was McNulty. Right, got it corrected. Ord McNulty with the try. And an important one for Corinthians. Another try would be a bonus point. And Greystones are playing tomorrow. We have to remember that too. Yeah, that'll be an interesting game of rugby, no doubt. McDermott's conversion is not good. But Corinthians lead 22 points to 10 in the second half. Ord McNulty with the try for Corinthians. And time flies because we've actually reached the 10-minute mark in the second half. And I just kind of go, if any of the guys from the RNLI are here, it would be great to actually have a word with them. That's a good kick back. Oh, touch.
Well done, Curtis.
And we'll see if we can find actually Stephanie Carr because Yvonne Comer is Yvonne, of course, needs no introduction because this lady has done absolutely everything. She's played club, province, country, played in the UK, and is now very much a driving force for the women's game here in Corinthians. So before we your thought on the hold on, wait for a second, we'll come back to that. Here come Corinthians again, driving on, don't move anywhere. Mahi Devine looks for support, gets it. Corinthians trying to find that fourth try that would give them a bonus point. And then the table will look very interesting because the gap will be down to 4 points at the top of the table. Here goes it. It looks like Riley. It might be Izzy in. The referee says yes, and that's try number 4. And that is the bonus point. Now, Yvonne, I can actually say hello to you.
Yeah, hello.
Can we just talk actually very briefly the women's game? The girl under 14s were here. They were the guard of honour, and well done to yourself and Nairi Hill, by the way, because he got organised at very short notice, it must be said. And Kieran Party, by the way, deserves credit for coming up with the idea. But a great thing in the fact that the under 14s were the guard of honour. The girls, it's very important, and obviously the fact that they were the guard, it'll be great for them as well that they were guard of honour at not only an Energy League game but an Energy City derby.
Yeah, well, when I said it to Nairi at very last minute notice, the immediate answer was yes. Let's get our girls out, let's get them feel like they're part of the club, let's get them engaged with the senior team. It's, a guard of honour, particularly what's happened in the last couple of weeks. So
it's amazing that what happened, and the story with Aisling Murphy. As we watched the conversion, and it is good. That's a brilliant kick from McDermott, not unlike a certain kick a couple of years ago against the North. But what happened to Aisling Murphy, just going back to that and being serious for a moment, that actually opened a lot of people's eyes to a lot of things. Not only, what happened and, she was buried during the week, but also a lot of things involved with women in general, whether it be sport, whether it be politics, whether it be everything, was brought very much out in the open. And maybe, it might not be in vain, that maybe more people might be aware of what's actually going on now.
I really hope so. One of the comments I've seen recently is it's not all men, but it is all women. And it's something I think that society in general need to be aware of. It is actually all women, and we need men to be advocates and supporters and actually call it out when it's happening, call out when something that they believe is banter but could actually make women fearful or,
It can be upsetting, and I know that saying it's not all men. I think that's actually got up a lot of people's noses, actually, if the truth be told, because we know it's not all men, but it's what men have to do, to make the world a better place. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's not special treatment or anything like that. It's equality. It's an age-old thing.
Yeah, anyone who has a mother, sister, daughter needs to understand how females view the world, and it's a very much different to how males view the world. And it's the equivalent, like you could walk down a shortcut dark alleyway, whereas women won't. And it's just as a cognizance of knowing that's how females are aware of the world around them, and helping call out people who may cross a line, even if it is past.
And that's why, I mean, even tonight now, even though, I mean, it was only a guard of honour, like 6 players, but still it sent out a message that the game is equal, that, women, and I hate the term women's rugby. I detest it. Women in rugby, so to me, I think is a much fairer statement, that there is equality in the game, and it's more important.
Well, as anybody who's watched the women's game recently will see, the women are just as capable as men. It's just as exciting to watch. It's just as entertaining. And the more we can get everybody behind watching the women's game, it's huge. It's the number one global sport growing in the world right now. And I think the more people who see it, they'll understand that rugby is rugby. It doesn't matter which gender is playing it. It's good, entertaining, exciting rugby.
And I can't wait for the next Women's World Cup. Okay, we won't be in it, but Shin Scale, I'm keeping my thoughts on that to myself. Okay, but I'm back onto today's game. That ball is just gone. Run. No, it's not going to go out on the full, but it's going to be cleared. No, it's not. Galwegians have possession again. Remember, 29-10 the score. Corinthians leading. Yvonne, don't go anywhere. I want to do one more comment on you, just basically on the game and just on today's game, because 4 got the bonus point. I actually have to find out who. Will, can you tell me who actually got that fourth try? I didn't get a chance to see it. Michael O'Reilly. So it was Mikey. So Michael O'Reilly gets the fourth try. Try from Ord McNulty and 2 from Josh Rowland. So the 4 tries are there. The bonus point is there, and it's, as Carl Blake said, it's been a good game. It's been a decent game.
Yeah, the type of rugby Corinthians are playing at the moment, it's that exciting offloading rugby, and all credit to JP, what he's done with this team over the last couple of years.
And as I said, here come Galwegians. They might get a chance of a try of their own. Remember, they have a penalty try from the first half, and it's been it's not been spilled. In fact, it was very clever from Galwegians, and a bit of a bit of over the top, which perfectly legal in the game. Spread out. Here come Galwegians again. Can they get themselves a second try and make it maybe even 29-17? Remember that came off a foot. The referee let that go. No, man in front. Okay, speaking as an ex-prop, I would argue that till the cows come home. Yeah, we were called them too, cha. But it's an entertaining game, and it's great to see it's great to see a crowd here as well, and it's just great to see people involved enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see the crowd out here tonight. Restrictions are being lifted now, so hopefully we'll have even bigger crowds. I can't wait to see a lot more of this over the coming months and see what Corinthians end up doing.
Yeah, well, you never know. Might even see tag rugby come back in the summer, which is, fingers crossed, please God. Referee is saying it's gone for scrum, Corinthians. We had more hand signals there than an aircraft, one of those aircraft to port guys.
Leave that on
I'm saying nothing. I didn't say anything, so it's alright. Commentators can't control what's being said in the sideline. I've heard a lot worse, trust me. Yeah, brings me back to a particular game years and years ago, a soccer match in Kilkenny, an Oscar Traynor Cup game, and unfortunately one of the substitutes was not happy with the referee, and he spent the whole second half right behind me, and all I heard, every second word out of him, was F. That was for radio, and there was only so many times you can apologise, so I just said solid, give up after that.
He only said fool.
the French version. Anyway, let's move on. Back to the action again. There's a great atmosphere here as well. Just to mention, there is a great atmosphere. Guys are enjoying themselves. Obviously, the Corinthians fans are enjoying themselves, and they must be said a little bit more. Now, while that's playing, I'm going to have a little scoot back here just to see if we've any comments more than likely given out. Donica McNulty and James Buckley again. And guys, get in touch as well, because it's great to see. It's actually great to see that we have currently nearly 150 people watching us live, which is fantastic. And thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Remember, this commentary has been brought to you in association with Rugby Smarts, and Galwegians might just have something here because they've made brilliant inroads. Fantastic move, about 40-50 yards, spread out. Can they do something? Great ball, brilliant move. Here comes the winger. He's going to touch. No, Rowland tidies it up. Very well done from Josh Rowland. Brilliant take from Josh Rowland. It has to be said, it's entertaining now. Shocked to see feeding it out into the middle. Well played inside. We just have decided to let themselves go. And playing some quality rugby. This is going to go forward. Substitution, by the way, for Galwegians. I've just seen as well Michael McColgan, who's the man with possession. It looks like McColgan fed out. And Stella Greeley is watching us in New Jersey. How you doing, Stella? And here come Corinthians. Try number 5 is there. Signed, sealed and delivered. Right under the posts. Brilliant try from Corinthians. I was almost going to say out of nowhere, but in fact it was, because it was the Galwegians had all the opportunities in the 10-metre line. Just having a look here, and Daniel Canizaro is watching in Spain. James Buckley is saying that the Corinthians lineouts are excellent. And some Sport Overload, by the way, is watching us. No idea. But thanks very much for joining us. Fair play, guys. 20 minutes gone in the second half, and Corinthians now leading by 34 points to 10, with a conversion to come. That won't happen. Mary, how are you? Come here. I'll go down to you, because in fairness, I'm not going to ask you to come up here and say conversion is good. Mary Healy, good to see you. Legend, Irish scrum half, currently on crutches. Hales, what happened to you?
I tore my hamstring off the bone in a game there, so I had surgery to just reattach it.
It looks very painful. Hamstring off the bone, Paul O'Connell like.
Yeah, it was pretty sore, all right, but yeah, it's not the worst now.
Like, how long have you been on crutches, and how long are you out for? I suppose the question now.
I think it's 6 months return to play, so I'll be back for the Interpro. So it happened in November. I had the surgery just before Christmas, and so I'm probably another 6 to 8 weeks on crutches now, until I can get my foot to the ground, and then I'll be able to start getting back into it.
It's great to see you here. I'm not going to ask you about the Interpros. That's a Shin Scale Ella, but thanks very much to whoever that was who sent me the video. It wasn't you. I know who it was. But they've gone for a water break, so we've got plenty of time. No one's missing anything. But just seriously, you guys are involved in the conference now, Galwegians. So a good win as well last weekend, and in action again tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're playing against Cook tomorrow, but we started the year off quite well. We're looking to start the games. The first 20 minutes has been a bit of a problem for us, so that was something that we were really working on. So last weekend, I think the first 20 minutes were brilliant for us.
It was Wicklow, was it?
It was away to Wicklow, yeah.
And Wicklow are a bizarre team, because they got bet out the gate at the very start of the season. I think it was like 142-0 or something like that. It was just really, I think it was them.
Oh, yes.
They were hammered out the gate, and there was major talk, and it was like, why should they be even bid in there? And then they came up, and I think they beat Cook. So and they've just improved every game since. So it was a good win for you last weekend.
Yeah, no, it was, because even before Christmas it was a really tough game. So they were our last game before Christmas, and then the first game after Christmas. But like they're just a really exciting team. They're just young, but like they're learning each game, and so what they'll be like in a couple of seasons, I don't know.
I want to mention your day job as well, Club Force.
Oh yes,
because yeah, I love the hat actually. If you've got a male one of them, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
But you're extremely busy with that as well, and of course you had a big competition competition before the Connacht game as well, and there was a lot of people entering. I know that for a fact. It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's been going really well. Like we're quite busy, but it's just really exciting time for Club Force, and so yeah, very good.
I'm going to let you go before you hit me with those crutches. So thanks, Mary. Talk to you later. Mary Healy, who is one of the absolute stars, it has to be said, when it comes to rugby. And anyway, 5 tries for Corinthians, 36-10 the score. And my watch is now reading as I look at it. Penalty Galwegians, 24 minutes gone. We've had a water break as well. So 24 minutes gone, and I'll get a clarification on the last try score, but I think it was Riley, but we'll double check on that in just a moment. I seen a comment there, how do I not know the try score? Well, it's actually quite hard when the numbers are half covered, as you can probably see from the video. So if you're watching it in high def, you're probably getting a better view than we are. Action continues. I think actually over on that side it was we'll get clarification on that. In fact, while they're doing that, I'll have a quick look to see, can we actually get a look at who got that try. Catherine Cooney, by the way, is watching in Littleton in Tipperary. Catherine, we will I'll tell JP and James Buckley, Donica McNulty, the guys are all watching it, and currently we're well over the 100, so oh yeah, and I see Kevin Deneen actually, and we're going to have a quick word at him also. And by the way, one man who I haven't seen, it'd be great to talk to him actually, great James Heaslip, Director of Rugby in Galwegians, the legend that is Sloppy. Hopefully will be joining us. He unfortunately couldn't join us for commentary tonight. He is down the country. I think he's in Youghal actually, so Sloppy, hope all is going well with you, buddy. Can't wait to see you in the sports ground again. And get the team back together again as soon as possible. We're back to the action. And Corinthians are absolutely playing some quality now at this stage. Very good driving rugby. And Kevin said no. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Back to the action. Colin Raff. Substitutions coming in. I see Keane de Butler. Keane de Butler is now onto the field for Corinthians as well. De Butler, quality hooker. Guy who's been a fantastic servant, not just with Corinthians, but also, of course, Connacht and Ireland as well at underage levels. So it's good to see him on the field. And Galwegians have got a bit of an injury worry, receiving treatment. Is their second row, Ben McGuinness. And by the way, for those of the media who are watching us, just to get lads, can we get clarification on the fifth try score? Mahi Devine. So Mahi Devine with that fifth try. Just to clarify. It's been a very solid performance from Corinthians this evening, leading by 36 points to 10. If you are keeping an eye on the score, 26-point lead, and we are reaching the 28th minute mark in this second half. Devine's put in. He's got people outside, and one of them's Cathal Evans, and that's not where it's going to go. It's going to roll, and now back over to Evans. Evans, great ball out to a great drive from one. Riley's completely shown them a clean pair of heels. This could be a fantastic try, brilliantly taken down. Great cover. Corinthians still holding possession. Still Corinthians. And these breaks going all the way out. Now they have people on side them as well if they want to decide to use them. And Josh Rowland has sold them all a clean pair of heels. And Rowland's going to get in, and Rowland has scored. And that's his hat trick. 3 tries for Josh Rowland. It's been outstanding this evening. No. But that is a brilliant try for Josh Rowland. But it has to be said, it came from a brilliant run straight up the middle. Great support from the guys as well. It's all right, Kieran. No worries. That's all right. It's live. It's live on YouTube. Cheers. Before I go any further, I just want to mention as well, by the way, just a word, I see the great Kevin Flynn is inside in the clubhouse, but just to mention as well, there was a presentation made earlier on this evening from the RNLI. Just to repeat that again if you just missed it, a presentation from the RNLI to Galway Corinthians in recognition of the money that was raised. We were talking to Kieran Fardy about it, the money that was raised from the Movember that took place in 2020. Now there was also Movember in 2021, and the money raised from that will be presented in due course. And this will be some conversion if he nails this one. McDermott. No. Oh wait, has it? No, it's gone to the. Oh, it's gone over. Well, I'll be honest. I will be honest. My first impression was it was wide.
And even Smithy said it. And we won't talk about Specsavers.
I need new glasses anyway, Flash. So. But that is a fantastic conversion, and that gives Corinthians a 43 points to 10 lead.
The Cobra sponsored those glasses, did it?
Actually, ironically, they were Specsavers. Back to the action. And here they go again. And this is brilliant rugby. And this is a great break. Oh, what a pick. Oh, just out of his hands. Declan O'Loughlin. And Decky O'Loughlin, who has been... in fairness, fantastic. Actually, a man who started against Ballina last weekend, and he's on the replacements this evening. JP Cooney definitely not standing on ceremony with the players, and we've seen this throughout the season. In fact, where guys who've started have been replacements the following week. You could score 6 tries one weekend and be a sub the following Sunday, so it's the joy of the game. We'll hopefully get a word with JP, by the way, when the game is over. Just a quick word with JP and maybe Aaron Broderick as well if we can. We've got 10 minutes to go plus injury time. Corinthians 43, Galwegians 10 in front of an excellent crowd, and it's going to be a free kick to Wegians. An excellent crowd here in Corinthian Park. And actually, in fairness, I have to say that who's just kicked that ball, that man is an outstanding game for Wegians, Kelvin Langan. And now Corinthians going to try and run this one from behind their own 22. Yes, they are. And this is just remarkable stuff. They've got 4 players chasing it, but well tidied up at the back. Excellent rugby from Corinthians. Wegians though still not giving up, still fighting. Who's going to take possession on this one? Who's going to come out on top? And Corinthians had, well, they thought they had it, but nope. It's going to be a penalty, and the penalty going to go to Galwegians.
Hi, Huey, how are you?
So back to the action as I look at the about 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes to go, and it's Corinthians who have that rather comfortable advantage now at this stage, 33 points. We'll see if actually I see a couple of a couple of legends. In fact, one of the greats of Connacht rugby and Irish rugby is over here, Eric Elwood. So hopefully we might get a word with him before this game is over and talk about Connacht, of course, and the situation there. And we'll have a quick look, by the way. I'm going to have a quick look as well. We might get Eric's thoughts on that, of course, being a former Connacht coach. And a quick look at Flash Score. I'm going to have a quick look at the Flash Score just to see what is going on, because as regards the rugby, because remember there's a very important game ongoing right now, and that's Castra and Harlequins. Oh, interesting. Just to mention, it's Harlequins 29, Castra 28. And if that score stays the same, Connacht in the last 16 of the European Champions Cup for the very first time, regardless of that situation with Toulouse and Cardiff. Here come Galwegians, and they've got men outside of the side to go for it, and they do. A little bit maybe on the late side. Referee says no, play on, tidied up. And what's the referee going to? The referee's going to do, he's going to give a scrum, and the scrum is going to the Galwegians. So Harlequins 29, Castra 28 in the European Champions Cup, if you're keeping an eye on that. And we've got there's still 20 minutes to go in that game, by the way. Castra have got 4 tries. In fact, Castra Castra have got 4 tries. But Harlequins have also, as I look, got 4 tries. So Castra needed a win with a bonus point to mean that Connacht would have to get something from their game against Stade Francais on Sunday at the Stade Jean Boulan. Here come Galwegians and Dineri. Chance to spread it out wide. Are they going to get themselves in for a try? There would be their second. Their first was a penalty try in the first half. Some good play from Galwegians here.
Give him nothing. Give him nothing.
We've got 5 minutes remaining plus injury time. And a good drive again from Galwegians. Just outside the Corinthians line, inches from the Corinthians line, maybe a couple of feet at the very, very most. Here's their chance, going out wide. Oh, spread back, but they might get it back. They might get that chance yet. Big driving from Galwegians and great power. Have they decided to go through it? The referee says yes. Try is given. And the man who buried his way through the gap. I think it's Andrew Sherlock. It is. So Andrew Sherlock has got Galwegians' second try, 43-15 conversion to come. And lads, just to let you know, by the way, that Harlequins are leading Castra. If it stays like that, Connacht are in the last 16.
Tell me the last 16 already.
No, not yet. Yeah, no, the problem was, Chad, that Toulouse have objected to the decision, and the French league have actually threatened legal action against the EPCR.
Fine.
So
this is what happened in Leinster. So
I am totally live. This is I'm dead. Yeah. This is.
We'll have a look at this conversion and don't mind the flinch.
Actually, to answer your question, none. Conversion for Galwegians, and that is unlucky, just wide. So Corinthians 43, Galwegians 15. But and this is actually it's a fair question, Kieran. But what happened was, for those watching us on YouTube, we'll just explain what's going on again. Basically, the EPCR gave it a 28-0 win to Cardiff, right? Because
Toulouse couldn't fulfil the fixture with COVID.
Yes, but Toulouse argued that they had a team to play, very similar to what happened to Leinster, and when tell you, EPCR stuck to their guns. They're going, listen, we did this to Leinster, we have to do it to you. And then the French League went absolutely bananas and said we're going to go legal.
And tell me, we didn't hear about the French League giving out about Leinster's.
Not a word.
Is that not fair?
Totally not fair, but this is the... truth be told, that's unlucky, but back to the action again. We're back in again. But anyway, the LNR have threatened legal action, so we will watch with interest. But if Harlequins win tonight, doesn't matter a damn.
I think Jackie Healy-Rae could solve that one.
Even Jackie Healy-Rae would have a trouble solving that one, to be honest with you. Flash back with the action, and Corinthians looking for another try. Remember, Josh Rowland scored 3 tries. You've had Ordan McNulty scoring a try. Michael O'Reilly has scored a try. It's been some excellent rugby from Corinthians. And Matthew Devine, of course, was the try we were missing. Riley gives it back out. Here come spilled. The referee says knock on, and
the man was in front of the ball.
43 points to 15 the score. And I have to give Thomas O'Sullivan his dues. I thought he's actually done very, very well this evening. The Tralee referee, of course, home of Olton Delan, another Corinthian, who is going to be playing his rugby in France next season, and we wish Olton the very, very best of luck. Absolute gentleman. And I want to mention as well, I know I'm after getting a message from one or two of the Connacht boys who are actually watching this online instead of watching the Harlequins cast game. Does Andy know that? Anyway, maybe it's no, it's Gary Owen's finest. It's Joycey's fault. Anyway, back to the action again.
Joyce is not Gary Owen.
He is Gary Owen.
Gary Owen Rugby Club.
Yeah.
I'm Gary Owen, the real Gary Owen.
No, you're the real Gary Owen. Right. I ain't getting involved in that one, chat. They always say the one thing about it is, and I was even saying to someone there, you can take the boy out of wherever, you never take whatever out of the boy. And I include myself in that.
If you're from Gary Owen, you played for Richmond.
I didn't know that. Anyway, back to the action here. We just looking for another try. Referee giving an advantage. And there's a penalty advantage.
And here comes the rain.
Just in time as we move into injury time, the rain's starting to fall a little bit. And by the way, just to mention, the bar is closed. If anybody is thinking about anything silly. Restrictions are tomorrow, 6 o'clock, just to mention. 6 a.m. I'll be in my bed getting ready for work.
We'll go down the docks.
Does that still happen?
I don't know.
Chad mentioned about going down the docks. If you're not from Galway, you wouldn't get the joke, so I'm not even going down that road. It's a long story. Anyway, we're into injury time now. About 2 minutes of injury time to be played. Some Wegians fans are heading for their cars. But for Corinthians, this has been a very satisfying and comfortable evening. The Galwegians have had some good performances as well. I want to mention a couple of players if I can. Kelvin Langan's been outstanding at scrum half for Wegians. Also, I want to mention Andy Neary on the wing as well. Roy Gaffney at out half also had very good games. And also, Diogo Vergara, Christy Riley in the front row, and Ben McGuinness in the second row very well for Galwegians. But for Corinthians, there's been outstanding performances from Josh Rowland at centre has been just brilliant. Good support from Cathal Evans, Michael O'Reilly, Colin Stapleton on the wings. Also, Ordan McNulty well deserved his try, as did Mahi Devine. Mark McDermott, no mistakes with the kicks. And up front, brilliant performances once again from the front row. Bomber, Sanchez and Noon, Raff and Broad in the second row, and Gavin, of course, Juicer and Huxford in the back row, and the replacements have all played their part too. And Onda Butler, I'm not seeing if Duffy is on the field or not, but I take it for granted he is. Kilkelly, Coyle and Decky O'Loughlin, of course. But here come Corinthians again, and again trying to finish on a high as the rain starts to fall. When I say rain, more like mist. We just still have that possession up. Can they do something with it? Nope, it's going to be turned around. I think it's been turned over, and it has been turned over. Brilliantly played. And somebody's knocked me pint. Okay. And more, and poor Will. Panic stations. But all good. Back to the action again. have Wegians got possession? No, Corinthians have it, and they're going to make a burst. Going to get another try to finish things off and maybe hit 50. Some very good rugby in spots here from Corinthians, and they have got Malahide next weekend, and Greystones take on Sligo. Greystones of course are top. Sligo playing some brilliant rugby. Gene McConnell, I want to say hello to you, by the way. Sligo Piero is watching us tonight, and Michael Gallagher and Banana Piero as well. Great kick forward. We're now moving into the final stages. We've hit 3 minutes of injury time, so I would reckon when the ball goes dead, that will be it. Or will Corinthians finish with a flourish? Well, that was like using a sand iron to drive a ball 300 yards. It was never going to get there. Here come Wegians. Can they finish with a try? Oh, brilliant pass. And they're going to have a break and they're going to get it. Nope. Good tackle. Brilliant tackle from Corinthians. They don't want to concede anymore. They want to finish this game as they started. And just to mention, penalty Corinthians, and is the referee going to blow? By the way, just to mention as well, the Corinthians Thurs are in Tube tonight as well. Yeah. A game that's being refereed by Sue Carty. Yeah, and actually Sue's reputation is very, very high as regards refereeing. She refereed in Leinster.
My son is coaching.
Just ironic. Yeah, well, just to mention, like, Sue comes from Castlereagh, which is my neck of the woods. I'm Glinsk, but she's Castlereagh. So,
you're lucky.
Are you leaving us?
The right side of the border. We're going for the heat.
Sound. Keep a bit of it for me. Cheers, Flash. But anyway, full-time score. Its referee has blown the full-time whistle, and it has finished Corinthians 43, Galwegians 15, and a good win for Corinthians. They'll be staying second in Energy League Division 2B, no matter what happens. Now I'm going to have a quick glance at what's happening with the other game that's on at the moment, and that is the game in the European Champions Cup, because we've got an interesting development happening here. I'm going to update you on what's going on. Castra have gone 33-29 up on Harlequins with 7 minutes to go, and that now makes things very interesting for Connacht, because for the sake of argument, the APCR reverse its decision over what happened with Toulouse and Cardiff. That means that Connacht need to get something out of Paris, which is a rather unusual situation. The players are just going to. So, are we done, or can we get a quick second with JP once it's finished? We're going to grab a quick word with JP Cooney, and maybe Aaron as well, just to get their thoughts on the game tonight, and just their reaction to that, and what was a very good win for Corinthians. And Adrian Pilkinson's here as well, of course. Adrian, who's now over in the States, involved in college rugby over there. So. So we'll grab a word with Pilco as well in a sec if we can. But just to we're kind of as I say, we're kind of filling time at this stage. But that's a very interesting development. It's a very interesting development in Castra. We're expecting Harlequins to win this one by a country mile. It's the absolute opposite, in fact. Castra 33, Harlequins 29 with 5 minutes to go. That's not the kind of score the Connacht fans wanted. No, of course, they needed the bonus point win. But we'll watch that one with a lot of interest to see what's going on. But teams are just going through their warm downs at the moment. So let's just recap on what's been happening with this game. And a very good win for Corinthians. Some quality rugby, has to be said. Josh Rowland's hat-trick, of course. Mahi Devine scoring. Michael O'Reilly, Oren McNulty, all touching down. And as for Galwegians, well, they had that penalty try and actually an excellent try as well in the second half but for them, unfortunately, not enough. Rain is starting to just come down a small bit, but we'll get the thoughts of the players in just a moment. And would you believe it?
I'll see you next week.
Come here for. All right. James Heaslip, just in and gone. No, we'll talk to him next week. So we look forward to Connacht and Glasgow in the sports ground in the United Rugby Championship. I think there's a few Connacht fans praying that Harlequins can do them a favour, try. Now remember, at the moment, if the EPCR stick to their guns, which I am expecting, then you will see Connacht in the last 16 of the European Champions Cup for the very first time. That game is ongoing, by the way, at the moment. And they're all having their chat. Remember, for Corinthians, they've got Malahide coming up next weekend. Now, this has a little bit of bite to it, because when the teams met, when they were supposed to meet, I must use that line instead, they were actually supposed to meet in the Energy League. It was a game, unfortunately, that wasn't played, but with circumstances that arose, the IRFU determined that Corinthians were given the game in a 28-0 win. So Malahide will be out to right that wrong next weekend. So that will also be an interesting game next weekend, and it's also a 2:30 kickoff. That being tomorrow week. Greystones, I think, play Sligo. But we're going to see if we can grab a quick word with a few of the. Get Aaron Broderick and get JP if we can. Let's see if I can get this lead to go. The boys are. So. Now. And that is a great response. I'm going to go chasing. That's all right. Sorry, that's. I'm going to see if I can go chasing down there. Greg Noon. Right, JP and Aaron, they're just going into the dressing room to have their chat, but we know exactly why. JP, I know why you have to go. I know why you want to go to the dressing room. I know why you want to go into the dressing room. It will be very, very quick reaction. Good win.
Yeah, look, we got 5 points out of it. That's what we were looking for. Just take the learnings. I don't think it was a perfect performance from us by any stretch of the imagination. We'll take a good look at the video and move on to the next fixture next week.
And that's Malahide. It's going to be an interesting game.
Very interesting. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play him before the Christmas. Looking forward to welcoming him down here to Corinthian Park next weekend.
Right, listen, I'll let you go in. Well done, buddy. Cheers, JP. Right, good win for Corinthians, and that's where we are going to leave it from Corinthian Park. Good win, 43 points to 15, the final score. Leon Jourdain, long bloody time no see, mate. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good. Congratulations, by the way, on the nuptials.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube on Rugby Smarts, by the way, mate. But long time no see. You enjoy that one?
Yeah, John. Look, it's really good to see club rugby. You know, coming back Friday Night Lights is brilliant. It's really good talent out there, and obviously Corinthians getting the upper hand. Good to see some really good rugby on a good winter's night with at least stay dry.
And in total journalist thing, I doorstep you, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks. Cheers, Leon. Thanks, mate. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Long time no see, indeed. Just to mention, Leon was actually my coach in Castlebar, so I know Leon very well. But that's it from Corinthian Park. It's been a good night for Corinthians, maybe not so for Galwegians, but Corinthians move on, stay second in the Energy League Division 2B, and we see where the rest of it goes. But thanks to Will, by the way, who was doing all the camera work. Thanks to Yvonne. Thanks to all the guys at Rugby Smarts who sponsored this as well. Everybody in Corinthians. And from here,